Hello, 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 my friends. Lisa Bowles, otherwise known as the Soul Mapper here. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time on the nose on Thursday, June. I keep thinking July. I have my focus on July. It's June the 25th, 2026, and we're looking at July of 2026. I just want to check and see who's here. Oh my goodness, people arriving. Hello, hello. Um, so Alex is here. Hi, Helen, my friend, Janine, Kathy, Leslie, Nancy, Sabina, Susan. There's more, but I can't see the rest of the names. Hello, 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 hello. We have a lot to cover today, and I have a bonus piece. Gonna knock your socks off. Yeah, I'm gonna just dive right in. Um, yeah. All right. My friend Erica, could you please share the next slide? So, as usual, I just want to remind you about the big backbeats. Okay, these are the things that are working away in the background for all of us all year long. Note, please, the two new ones. Our fortune finder, otherwise known as Jupiter, will be working in Leo very soon and will be there till 2027. Okay, it's a big deal. And our new nodal Wa, shifting the north end into Aquarius and the south end into Leo. Okay, that's going to be happening very soon, and that will last until March of 2028. Okay, and again, that's at work and it's important. You might want to take a screenshot of this and put it up somewhere you can see it often so you can remind yourself that these are at work. Okay? Okay. And you might also want to go back and take a look at least the notes or the application guide from Live for 2026 to refamiliarize yourself with these. Okay? Again, important. And once you hear the extra bit I have to share today, you'll better understand why. Okay? Next slide, please. The shorter term influences that are still in play. So till the 9th, our Charisma of Cause, till the 22nd, Force of Nature, and so on and so forth. Again, you might want to screenshot this and put it in view so you can just remember that this is going on, particularly our communication savant retro in Cancer. Now, officially, that retrograde doesn't start until Monday, but we're already in the pre-shadow or pre-retrograde shadow period. And so I'm going to let everybody know, I talked about this to Erica just recently. Because Pluto is in Aquarius and because Uranus is in Gemini, Mercury retrogrades are going to take on some different while those two are working there. Okay? Cuts. Just want you to know. And in some cases, that might mean amplified hijinks. And it also might mean increasing speed of things, even during a retrograde. Because normally during retrogrades, things kind of slow down because we're rethinking, reviewing, et cetera, et cetera. And I wanted to make you aware of that because it will matter. Okay? If you're working with tech, most of us are, it will matter. Okay, next slide, please. Now we look at July. Next slide, please. July the 7th until December the 12th. Now I'm going to go to my own much more meaty notes so I don't forget anything as we're talking about this. So this is the first time, okay, that it's been in retrograde since the 1870s. And that matters given the larger context of our times, okay? It is a 5-month slowdown, which is, for many of us, a really good thing, because part of what we're asking ourselves to do is rethink our vision, our dream, as it calls us to take action on it. So this is a period of time in which We're called to action, but we're called to rethink the kind of action or the approach to taking action that's ours, not what has been conditioned into us relative to dream and vision. Okay? And if you've been feeling kind of nonstop swirly emotions and impulses and this will be a bit of a respite that will be very welcome for quite a few of us. Okay? And it's a really, really, really stellar time to kind of track and review the things that kind of tripped us up. Okay? All right? Because we're rethinking. So where did things not go the way I wanted them to, or the way they might have needed to? And the want I applied to it was more a function of conditioning than my natural action instinct. Because remember, our dream keeper is retrograding in Aries action instinct. Where am I not in my action instinct and attempting to do things the way others have or are, or I've been told, yada, yada, yada. Okay? We want to bring more awareness, cultivate more consciousness relative to how we are uniquely designed to channel our action instinct. And the strategy that isn't from here, but here, that's inside, that natural, here's how I move into action. Okay? Okay. The big, big, big potential is that by December, you could, and if you lean in and you really invest yourself in looking at and, you know, kind of being with the retrograde orientation of this, you could experience yourself and actually have cultivated more self-possession and sovereignty in your own skin and be less poked by reaction or just the way we've been conditioned. So you're just living and living from your own native dream through your own way of taking action more sovereignly. And that's a big, big, big deal. Asking you. And I'd love to hear from you. I really would. You can turn your microphone on, or you can just pop it in the chat, whichever works for you. Can you guess the favored field or fields that might come out of this? Okay. Anybody? Before we go to the next one? Okay, I'm going to leave the question with you because it's an important one. I want to support you in feeling the fields that are being favored so you can respond. Okay? Okay, next slide, please. Okay. The 9th of July till August the 6th. Isn't that lovely? So what does that offer us? Because our charisma of cause, Venus, is working through Virgo. So I don't normally talk about it this way, but I'm going to say it today. Relationships and romance, that's the part I rarely talk about, get a really healthy, I'm going to call it a make under. Normally we think of romance as it relates to relationship. And by the way, when I say relationship, I'm talking about relationships of all kinds, to yourself, to your work, to the world, to your friends, all the things. But in particular, it's kind of going, yeah, and let's look at romance a little bit. What it wants us to keep in mind is that often romance has translated in culture to mean grand gestures, okay? And what this wants to help us do is shift ourselves out of thinking grand gesture or expecting grand gesture or being disappointed when we don't get grand gesture into the understanding that it is grounded offerings from true care and devotion, commitment, love, that is fuss-free. Okay? This is saying we need some more of that right now. Okay? In other words, Virgo is going, the work of love, that. Okay? This offers practical magic too. It's like it's the ultimate yum while this is in play. Okay? Wellness is in the spotlight, but wellness that is about the body, but is about more than the body. It's about the wellness of your routines, your practices, your rituals, your way of life, and your way of work. Okay? It doesn't mean you have to give up the yum. Like normally when people think of wellness, they can go like, we got to be clean in our eating, and we've got to be exact, and we've got to Virgo goes, Virgo with this is like, you can still have, a delicious piece of cheese, but enjoy them as a treat instead of a daily thing, unless, this is what's true for me, unless ingesting adequate amounts of calcium helps your body stay healthy, and then reconfigure. In other words, this has to be configured in accordance with what you need to love your wellness routines of all kinds into right alignment with and for you. Okay? Alrighty? The spotlight's also on the self-improvement path. It will be providing edges, energy and nudges to incentive almost to, if you've been thinking about training for a 5K, it'll give you a nudge. If you've been considering booking a wellness retreat, and deep wellness, not just, let's go get a massage. I'm not saying that massage isn't useful, but it's about the deeper, okay? It'll nudge you to go take that retreat. Or a spiritual retreat, or to deepen your spiritual practice. You understand what I mean? So that's important to pay attention to, because the spotlight's really going to be on that too. Given that, does that indicate to you a favored field or two? Pop it into the chat. Okay? Next slide, please. The 14th, new supermoon in Cancer. I just want you to know that both of the moons, new and full, of this month play a really, 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 really big role in what I'm going to be talking about as a bonus, talking about later. Okay, so keep that in mind. Put a star beside this if you're taking notes. This particular supermoon in Cancer is putting the spotlight on our closest bonds and connections and pumping up the hunger for cozy, nostalgic feels. And by nostalgia, I don't mean I want to go back to and live as if we're still in 1955, although some may translate it as that. It's more what was essential and nourishing and yum, yum, yum about that time, and how can I help myself have more of that now? Okay? If you've been kind of putting on the back burner the connections, the relationships that are your life's most important, it will ask you to put them out front again, to give them some focus, give them some attention, sing their praises, let them know how much you appreciate them, set a place for them at your table, or just carve out one-on-one time that makes clear to them how much you actually value them. Not paying lip service because this is going on, but actually, okay? This is not, if you attempt to be performative here, it'll fall flat, and you could actually damage your relationships. You want to be mindful of that, okay? This is also likely to spark inspiration and to cozy up or, kind of spruce our home and our hearth. Now, that's physical home. That's home for your work online. That's home in here for you. Okay? So, freshening, cozying. All right? And then, if you've been in need of recharging near water. And I would check in. Are you more called to big living bodies of water like oceans or the Great Lakes, or to streams and brooks and rivers and small lakes, ponds? Pay attention to what kind or body of water you're called to. Recharging near water or in water is especially therapeutic while this is in play. Okay? And you might want to look at your calendar, and for the 2 weeks after, so the 14th, and then for 2 weeks, you might want to schedule time into your life so that you actually spend some time with or near water. Okay? You might be surprised what happens beyond simple recharging. Not that recharging is necessarily simple. Next slide, please. July 22nd till August 22nd, our force of nature, the sun. Ooh, that Leo, that first Leo should be the sun. My bad. Shifts into Leo. And this is a big deal because the sun is most at home in Leo. Okay? So, passion, playtime, and public displays of affection. 2 thumbs up, 5 gold stars. And when I say public displays of affection, I mean with your significant other. I also mean with yourself, with your work, with the people most important to you, with your community. You get my drift? This isn't just, holding hands and hugging. It's expressing genuine affection in a public way. All right? With Mercury retrograde ending, there's something else that's really useful to know because it happens the day after this begins. Now, we'll still have a 2-week shadow, post retrograde shadow to contend with and be aware of. But what this gives is a green light on you going, here I am, in your work for the first time or in a new piece of your body of work. Okay? Okay, now just remember, Mercury retrograde post shadow still in play. Keep that in mind. But, all right. Now, I want you to also know that Leo governs the heart and our spine. And while this is in play, it will be offering us reminders to bring more backbone and heart and warmth and courage into the way we're living or the way we're working or what we're doing in the name of our work. Okay? So, where could you stand taller? Where could you love louder? Where could you be more, I'm here? Okay? Courageously own your gifted nature and courageously go out there with it. Okay? Next slide, please. The 23rd, our communication savant retrograde ends. I just talked about it, but we're going to dive down a little bit deeper. So first I'm going to say who, because during the pre-retrograde shadow, boy, oh boy, remember I just said Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, okay, so this one for many people has been a bit of a wild ride. All right. If this retrograde has stirred up old family drama or old childhood wounds, particularly, the messages we took in or were presented to us as de facto, or left us kind of tangled up in emotional misunderstandings, this course corrects, this shifts things, especially if you've been feeling anxious because these things have been moving around. Your mind might not have landed cognitively in them, but this would have been feeling them, okay? And this will help you smooth things inside and smooth things over outside. So if there's anywhere where you need to kind of clear the air or mend fences or seek air clearing and fence mending from someone else, as long as you're residing in self-possession and sovereignty, go for it. Okay? And I mean that. If you're coming from, you need to be something else for me, think again. Okay? Talk to your therapist. Next slide, please. July 26th until March 26th, 2028. Now, we covered this right at the beginning, our new nodal law. The North Node shifts to Aquarius and the South Node shifts to Leo. It's the first time this has been working in our skies for us in 20 years. Okay, so, this is a good thing. Now, think about this relative to Pluto in Aquarius. These things don't just be working away in isolation. You get me? Okay. 20 years. And even though it takes place every 20 years, this year into 2028, we are living with wildly historical astrology. So it ain't going to be like it was 20 years ago or 40 years ago. It's going to have a character and nature that is in many ways reflective of these times. Okay? Destiny. Destiny is the name of this one. So for the next 20 months, this is going to send out a big ripple, a call to destiny as relates to the transformative potential that coincides with Pluto. How are you in your purpose and your callings, in your unfolding, becoming destiny, called to step forward, called to step deeper, both? Okay? So some of the things, North Node, Aquarius, is about futuristicness. How am I here and now meant to have effect on the future? And how is that going to help me unfold my own best destiny? Because they're tied together. How is this calling me into engaging in, participating in, convening community? Okay? The larger human community, the community local, the community online, etc., etc. Okay? How am I being called to innovate, to collaborate, to design smarter ways to live and work and care for each other and allow myself to be cared for? In what ways am I meant to now, in the next iteration of my best destiny, to engage in social systems or have effect on and elicit the next best iteration of social systems? Okay? This will ask us to bring an open mind and willingness to beta test better models of social systems. Ooh. Okay. South End. It calls a timeout. And this might be a relief to many people, on grandstanding in public. An ego-driven, I alone, I, or saviorism, or I am leader, theatrics. Just, yeah, no. Now, in many of our human stories, in many of the narratives, even religious and spiritual, at least to a degree, are anchored in one wise, spiritually evolved individual is going to come and lead us. And this says, yeah, no, nope, nope. And so the roots of that conditioned thinking that are current day and exclusively yours, or ancestral or karmic, they need to be tended to. And this is going to help you tend to it. Okay? The other thing that goes along with this is, again, human narrative, at least for a couple of millennia, those wise leaders who come to guide us through or save us have been predominantly male. And the roots of that, okay, so to pay attention to that too. The thing I want to also call our attention to is this. If in our karmic past or in our family's past, because there's ancestral stuff here often, if power has been misused by us, by our lineage, then we may have to attend to that. This may come with, we got to attend to this. We got to make things right. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive our family line. We have to. Okay? Okay. Next slide, please. The 29th, our fortune finder, Jupiter, goes Kazemi. This is the annual Day of Miracles. Okay? First time. Here, since 2014, because it's in Leo, which means it's even bigger because Leo, sun, expansion, creative expression, like holy moly. Okay. What is likely, and the other thing I also want to say is when we talk about that, this extra chunk we're going to cover later, this is important because it's part of that. And you can work with this day as a standalone thing, but it helps to keep in mind it is a part of a much, much bigger thing. Okay? And it's lending this to that. This is not like an ordinary, as if there's an ordinary Day of Miracles, but it is not like last year's. It is not like the years before. Okay? It's not like 2014 either. Okay? The call to nobility and the call to generosity are being amplified here. Okay? But to be generous without being over generous, and to review what nobility means and does not mean. So to look at or to be with the idea or the notion of nobility outside the conditioned frameworks of what it is and how to behave nobly. Okay? Because I'm just realized I didn't turn off my phone and I don't want it buzzing or ringing while we're talking. This favors and supports being courageous. We talked about that just a little while ago. Being creative. And again, outside, the conditioning of the mind, what is creative? Okay? Building a life is essentially creative. Residing in creative flair without apology, without feeling like you're being like to reside in it authentic to you. Often in spiritual evolution, new age thinking, all the rest. The phrase, oh, don't be dramatic. I could do without the drama. I understand that. I want to call that theatricality or melodrama. Those things are, performative theatricality or melodrama. That's what's being pointed to there. But theatricality that helps invite or kind of pull us with our participation into experiential interactivity that's grounded in heart and courage and emotion and emotional recognition. That's what we're talking about here. A flair for your way of expressing or creating that way that allows us to join you, because the moment you're curating is important for us, not for the ego. Does that make sense? This is a big deal and could change many a person's expression of their work, at least whatever expressions they're working with right now. The other thing that's really interesting is that if in your gut or in your heart, you've been craving more attention and recognition for your work, again, not unhealthy ego, pay attention to me, but my work is worth your attention. That's this. Okay? This kind of casts a glow on your self-expression and passion projects and leadership within your work. And I want you to know that so you can go stand in it or lean into this day's miraculous energy so it serves you and your work and the people your work exists to serve. Next slide, please. Also, okay, so look, we have two things happening on the same day. Oh my goodness. Full moon in Aquarius. Full moon in Aquarius. Lum, num, 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 num. This visionary moon urges us to rally your people, your crew, okay? To gather, convene your people in the name of celebrating how far you've come and the vision you all feel resonant together with. Okay? And it can be one or the other, but in many cases, for folks like us, it'll be some version of both, especially if it's in your work or your business. Okay? This is not a fleeting flash. It is, you planted seeds that have something to do with what this will be for you, for your work, 6 months ago during the new moon, okay? And the ripples of it, ideas, inspirations, experiments, collaborations, they want to have effect because this is futuristic. This is Aquarius. Like, we want to go out with this for some time. So I would pay very close attention to that for you, for your work, for your life. Now, this is triple partnered. It is partnered with, and this is why I said earlier, the moon, the new moon, and the full moon, they play a really, really big part in what we're going to be talking about shortly. This particular moon is triple partnered with Pluto, with Uranus, and with Jupiter. Okay? It's big full moon. All right? So there's a little bit of transformational deliciousness and benevolent rebellion to release the mind so futuristic ideas can be present in what this will have come forward now and into the future. And the Jupiterian expansion, and we're going to go past the boundaries of the past. Okay? The thing I do want you to know about this is it will come knocking. If the direction you say yes to or just begin moving in is territory you've been before and is comfortable, but not now. It's like, that's stale, baby. That's a little small-minded. It will come knocking, okay? So the next 2 weeks and the following couple of years, because Aquarius, with all these partnered who are going to be where they're going to be for a couple of years or decades, it's a prime time to move forward with unconventional plans in the name of helping them across the finish line. But understand the finish line will be iterative, okay? It's not once and done, okay? Okay. Oh, okay. Opportune days. Next slide, please. 5, 12, 13, 18, and 20. Oh, no, I got one wrong. Sorry, never mind. So let's talk about the 5th. This day. Oh my goodness. Ain't no containing your brilliance today, provided the brilliance that wants to be unleashed is yours, not an attempt to be brilliant the way someone else is. Just saying. It's purposeful. It's yours. Okay? The 13th, break free from attachment wounds day. So, 1, if you know you have some, and most of us do, book an appointment with a therapist, a guide, a counselor, a healer this day or the next day. Okay? If you perform that kind of work for others, that's your purposeful work. This is an important day for your people. And if you know someone's been working to release themselves from an attachment wound, you might want to nudge them to book this day, provided you have openings. Just saying. Okay, next slide, please. The 18th, power of the truest kind. And what I mean by that is not power over. This is not about controlling other people or controlling, it's power meets breakthrough progress kind of a day. Wow. On the 20th, bold ideas and grand visions will be flying here, there, and everywhere that day. Okay? I'm actually going to say the day before, the day of, and the day after. Okay? So you can record it, so you can capture it when it comes to you and then carry on with your day. Or a notebook. If you'd rather handwrite, I get it. Just have something accessible, quick, easy, accessible. I will just be audio recording because that's the way that works best for me, because they are going to be coming fast and furious. The thing I want you to know about this is the ideas, the visions that repeat, come to you more than once. Those are yours. Okay? Why do I say that? Think of pollen being blown through the air. Every little bit is not meant for you. It's just pollen flying through the air. That's what this is going to be like. But the ones that repeat, that come back to you again and again and again over the course of a month or so, those are the ones you want to pay attention to. That's why I'm saying, be sure you capture. I also want you to know that you could mentally and energetically feel a little more overloaded or more easily overloaded this day. This is going to be exuberant, exciting, and FOMO could get activated. Watch. If FOMO, terror that you're going to miss something, critical, starts running the show, you will go into overdrive and on the edges of burnout. You want to be really careful. Okay? Next slide, please. Neutral days. Now, this is when there's no particular orientation to opportunity or hotspotness. It really depends on how you engage with it. Okay? Next slide, please. July the 4th. Words as brutal weapons or best tools in your hands for many things today. It all depends on how you respond to this, or if you get triggered, and off you go. Okay? Okay. My friends, in the United States of America, there could be some wild things said, especially online. Keep that in mind. Okay? This is not a good day to do a taste test or a webinar or any of, like, just, now it's a national holiday, so you're not likely to do that anyway, but I just thought I'd say it because July the 6th. If you have been biting your tongue or bottling up resentment to keep the peace, this is a release valve or blow kind of day. Now, what I mean by release, write down what you've been, okay? Write it down or speak of it to a trusted friend, not necessarily the person or people or organizations or whatever that you've been biting your tongue with or bottling up from, okay? But get it out. Let yourself have and use and lean into the release valve. Get it out. You can always come back and then ask yourself, is this supposed to be shared with the public in some more refined way? Okay. That could be of contribution and service, but don't attempt to do it on the 6th. Just get it out. Okay. For those of you who facilitate people's process as a healer or a coach or a counselor, a therapist, teacher, just know that's going to be a lot of people on this day who might need your supporting containment. Be the person with whom they can release valve. Okay. If you are holding a class of some kind involving more than one person on this, just be aware there could be just, release valves going off all over the place. Prepare yourself, prepare the space, or reschedule. Okay, next slide. July the 10th, actions tell the real story. Talk is cheap kind of a day. Okay, now, action instinct, my friends, not action for action's sake, the way we've been conditioned and okay? Because otherwise, the energy that's available here could just perpetuate action for action's sake that takes you places, but not places that are closer to where you intended to go, okay? Or the direction your work wanted to take you, or whatever the case might be. July 27th, 2 things will be going on. Smooth and charming power play kind of day, okay? And I mean that. And it won't necessarily be consciously applied, but there'll be people power playing other people, but they'll be smooth about it. Okay? And then the second one is there could be flashes of genius and magic all day long. Okay? That will migrate you into a powerful moment of recognition and movement. What you want to watch for, and I mean this sincerely, especially if you've got something booked to teach or present that day, there could be a bit of a snaggy kind of, I want to persuade you because I've just had this. Breathe through it. Take that flash, take that magic, and after the because smooth and charming power play kind of stuff, you could attempt to persuade by applying power over stuff. And you're not going to want to do that. Okay. Next slide, please. Hotspot days, just one. Next slide. Fault finding super amped today. Just because of the nature of what's alive and kind of That day we were going to find fault with things, with ourselves, with other people, with life, and like just so breathe, write down what you notice, and I mean it, like get it out of you, but don't lob it at yourself in particular or anybody else. It will be nitpicky, fault finding, right? And okay. And if you know this, if it starts to surge in your experience, you'll have ways. So breathe, go take a walk out on the land in nature, breathe some more, write down, because there will be truth in it, but it's that's what you want to watch. Okay. Okay. Next slide, please. Favorite fields. Next slide, please. Healing, healing, healing in here. Okay. Practical magic. We talked about that. Relationship make unders. We talked about that. Wellness, wellness, wellness. And that is wellness of all things. The land, the earth, our business, like all things. Wise nostalgia. We talked about that. From caretaking to sovereign care providing. My friends, this is going to be a big deal. Particularly for caregivers, caretakers, and I'm just going to say for women, just saying. 7, home and hearth. We talked about that. Retreat and recharge. Play. Research shows that children learn by playing. They learn more when they play together. We lose that as we grow older. It's highly discouraged, but returning to it, so don't be surprised if you see some new things or feel compelled to offer new things. Passion, but the expression of passion authentically. Talent, genius, thought leadership, spotlighting. We talked a little bit about that. Sacred ambition. Oh my God, is it going to get a serious, serious jolt? And then the call of purpose and destiny. Okay. Again, you might want to screenshot this and put it up. And if there are ways natural to you, authentic to your work, that more than one of these will be at play, overlapping, synergizing, yeah. Okay. All right. Next slide, please. I think I remember what this one is. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my notes. Screenshot this, friends. Seriously. If you are a member, if you remember us reviewing this during live for 2026, or if you are a participant in Living the Deeper Story of 2026, you've seen this before, you remember it. These formations are active individually and together in wild synergy this quarter through the summer. Okay. If you're a participant in Living the Deeper Story, I'm going to be doing a much deeper dive into this because as things have unfolded over the course of the last 6 months, more understanding about how this is, as approaches, people like us feel it early. We already started to a degree responding, even though we can't necessarily see how we're doing that. So I'm going to be doing what I would call a deeper dive into this for people in the program. Okay. But I wanted to make sure I said something about this to you all now. And I'll tell you why. And this is that extra thing I was talking about earlier. Because it involves both the new and the full moon. It involves Mars. It involves all the big outer planets. All of them. Okay? And the reason why this becomes so important is because, well, a couple of reasons. One, I pay attention to what prominent astrologers and the field in general are talking about. And as I've listened during these last 6 months, I've realized that even the most prominent of astrologers are missing something. And I'm just kind of mind blown. They're talking about the Star of David, and they're talking about the cradle or the basket, but they're not talking about the envelope. And not talking about that, not noticing its integral importance, leaves out the functional engine of the whole thing. And I needed to make sure you knew about this. Because by failing to look at the envelope and its integral importance as the engine, what gets missed is the mechanism that converts the power and potential of the Star of David and the basket cradle, the engine that converts the good fortune and possibilities and opportunities there into lived execution. Without the envelope, without being aware that it's there, without knowing how to lean in, et cetera, the synergies and the possibilities are likely to just kind of go, okay? There's an anatomy to this. So the Star of David is it's gorgeous, gorgeous, like just nutso. Sacred geometry, okay? Brings to life a wildly harmonious set of interactive patterns, okay? And opportunities. But here's the thing. Inside harmony, astrological pattern harmony and flow, there's, in the human, it kind of creates a state of comfort or dreaming without need or impulse to act. So we can experience this as, isn't this lovely? And not do anything about it. Okay? The envelope brings a kind of applied kinetic energy that says, it creates creative tension that inside us is like, I have to do something about this, with this. I must apply and work to bring this to life. Okay? The envelope helps us take the raw, massive, creative inspiration of these three formations and put it in a kind of creative tension crucible. It's like, so think of having a car, but there's no engine in it, or the gas tank is empty. The envelope is the engine, the gas, and the impulse to put your foot on the pedal and go. All right? It also leaves us with a kind of, there's a deadline to this. There's a personal, there's deadlines to this that gives us the incentive, the intrinsic incentive to get our ideas out of our head and into concrete lived reality, the building of things. It is a concrete manifestation structure. Okay? So the cradle, how does the cradle and the basket factor into this? It is a container, okay, that creates, I'm going to say, protected space for you to feel and do this work, to kind of filter out all the noise and the craziness and chaos of the outer world, so that what you're working on is has safe space to do that. For you to imagine, for you to vision, for you to dream, for you to, and then feel out with there being less, are you really sure about that? Kind of interference. Okay? It also provides us with a kind of resolving energy so that if we start to pop into analysis paralysis, thinking too much, or fear of what people will think, it gives us the safe space to liberate ourselves from that. Okay? It's a kind of psychospiritual container that connects the Star of David potential with the envelope's intrinsic drive to go build this, so that you can handle the massive creative energy that will be flowing through this. Now think about this, because there's an extra piece. This, in the midst of all of the astrology of this year, of these times of ours. So when I did live for 2026 and conducted the first conversations about inside living the deeper story of 2026, I said, and this is the astrology of things, and other astrologers have been talking about this, that when Neptune and Saturn shifted into the first degree of Aries, it began a whole new 9,000 year cycle. Okay? I've spent the last 6 months continuing to look back and look back and look back. Like, when was the last time? Here's the thing. There have never been these three formations synergistically working together while Pluto has been in Aquarius and following Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees of the zodiacal cycle. There's no evidence of this ever having occurred before. We are meeting humanity meeting a moment, a creative moment of such magnitude. It is gobsmacking, and we've never been here before. Okay? I wanted to make sure you knew this. I wanted you to know that the Star of David is going to flood your life with raw, brilliant, infinite potential. I wanted you to know that the cradle is going to offer you protection, so that that potential and that flood of massive manifestation energy is going to give you a buffer, so that energy will move through your circuits without blowing you out. And so you'll know how to lean into it better. So what you work on in there will be safe from outside interference. Okay? And then I wanted you to know that the envelope seals the deal by giving you the deadline, the intrinsic drive, and personal strategic structures that don't come from here, that come from here, to turn all that into tangible, realized, masterful, material things in your life. Okay? Like, this is okay? Here's the thing. This is also a call to destiny, because remember Nodal Wa. You're being called out into your next best purposeful destiny. That's where the destiny piece comes in. This is the call of our lifetime and lifetime upon lifetime. So the element that's important to note is, does this want for you to have what will fulfill you and unfold you and help you become and make it real, make it material, make it tangibly, concretely present in your life? Yes, it does. But it wants that so that you can become what the world needs because you exist. So if you're in this just for yourself, there will be big, powerful energy not in the mix. Okay? The star wants to give you high-powered tools. Like, this summer is not for spectators. these things, and it's being spoken of by some this way. It's just like free luck. You don't really have to do anything. It's handing out high-powered applied tools. The star wants to give you the vision or help you be more clear about what the vision or dream is, so you can stand in it with more certainty. The Credo wants to keep you and your energy safe while you build the vision, the dream. And the envelope wants to give you the grit, the structure, and intrinsic motivation and drive, sacred ambition on steroids to make it real. Okay? That's what I wanted to make sure you know is happening. Now I'm going to go over the dates and ranges of this inside Living the Deeper Story. So if you're participating there, don't worry, you'll have all of it. But here's the reason why the additional reason why I had to talk about this today. A few months ago, I kept dreaming. Go look at this relative to the times and you have the tools. So I started. It took me days, pieces of time together to create it. It's a kind of motion map, but it's motion map 3.0 because it looks at these three formations working together relative to purpose, callings, and best destiny inside all that's moving around for all of us. It's like, boom. What does this mean for you? How are you being called? What vision? How can you help yourself? What do you need to know? Are there going to be challenges? How do you meet them? What are the opportunities? What's the time frame? It took me the better part of almost 24 hours all together. It's a lot of work. And then when I synthesized it down in consolidated, readable form, I was, moved to tears because this is the most opportune period of time and the engine of the work I'm going to do for the next 2 years in my entire life. And I've lived a pretty good life, all things considered. I work with astrology, and if I hadn't taken the time to do this for myself, I wouldn't have known all this. I would not have been able to partner the way I can now. And so I thought to myself, okay, this is me. I don't know that this is going to be that for everyone, but I can't ignore the possibility that it could be. So I reached out to a friend. I want to test and verify things before I offer them, before I talk about them, before I need to stand on something solid, or I can't verify I'm not out of integrity, if you know what I mean. So I reached out to a dear friend, someone I've known for decades, and said, this is what's happened. I need to test and verify. Would you give me permission to create this for you to see what happens? My gift, I'd be testing. You'd be agreeing to be a guinea pig. Is that okay with you? Got the thumbs up. So I started. And they then told their partner what we were doing. And their partner got in touch and said, can I be a guinea pig too? I want this. Okay, I'll do that too, because that will give me 3 sets to be more certain that this has value, not just for me. For the first person, it took, the 17, 18 hours for me became a little more than 7 hours for them of work. I delivered it to them. Wow. The third person, the partner, I was able to synthesize it down because I knew what I was doing. I got it to just over 3 hours worth of work, delivered that. And holy, and the first person, my friend, said to me, you know, I'm really, really glad you told me about this. Because if you didn't, if I found out later you knew about this and you didn't say anything, I would have been pissed with you. Because I have in my hands a blueprint for living my life for the next 2 years and being the best contribution I can be. And so I tested it, I verified it, and now I'm talking to you about it because now that I know what this might do for you, I can't not talk about it. I'm calling this, for now, the formations map. Next slide, please. It's hours of work, still going to be hours of work. And I have to do it in a way that's different than I have in the past. I'm going to create the foundations map. I'm going to audio record it, and then I'm going to create a written companion guide that maps it all out. So you've got that to work with, okay? Because I needed that, and both of my friends are finding it enormously helpful. It doesn't just talk about the windows of opportunity and where in your life those opportunities are going to present themselves, how to meet it, what kind of challenges you're likely to encounter, how to meet them. It's like a calendar of how to build the way you're designed to build while handling whatever stuff comes up as you build. It's just wild. So I would record this, provide with the recording a written companion guide. We would not meet on Zoom, and I'll tell you why. I'm capping this right now because there's just so much of me to go around at 20. I will do up to 20 between now and the 19th of July, which is when the peak energy inside these interactive synergistic formations is happening. The relevance goes way beyond the 19th, but for now, I'm setting that as a deadline because I want you to have this in your hands so you can stand in that peak moment with what you need to know. Okay. And I can't, if we book appointments, they have to go into a schedule, and that means they're bound by time. And I need to be able to do this whenever I have time to do this. So I would be delivering an audio and the written companion. Okay. And I can do that for up to 20 people. If you are a coaching client or a member of the current, whether that's annual or monthly, I will do this for you for $500. Okay. I'll talk about the money in a second. If you are neither, $800. And you are given membership in the current because I want to make sure you are part of, if you choose to be, living the deeper story of 2026, because all the practices we're going to be doing there together, especially during this next quarter, matter. Okay. $500 and $800, they do not work out what the value of the time that I'll be investing in creating these. I just want to be honest with you because I want to remove whatever financial barriers I can so you have this. Yeah. We're going to do this like we would with Motion Maps during Motion Map season. 20 are available. The deadline for purchase is the 15th of July at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay? Because that will give me a couple of days to create it and send it to you so you have it before or the morning of the 19th. Okay? If you wait until the 15th and put your order in, like if 10 people put their order in at like 11:55 p.m. on the 15th, there's just no way I can deliver 10 in 3 days or less. Like, just please don't wait till the last minute, please, because I won't be able to fulfill my promise to you, and I want to. Okay? And I will deliver them as I receive the orders. So the first, second, etc., etc. Okay? If you have questions that you need to talk to me about before you can make a decision about investing in this, email Erica, and she will send you a link to book a discovery session so we can talk. Just keep in mind that by the time you and I have that session, these 20 openings could be gone. I'm not saying that to push you to go against or violate your own timing. I'm really not. But I just want you to be aware that that's a possibility. I will still make it available to you at the prices that we're talking about, but I will not be able to deliver it before the 19th. It's still going to be enormously helpful. It's still going to be powerfully resonant and useful for the next 6 to 24 months. We'll just miss the peak of the 19th is all. Okay? Okay. Erica, have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah. If you have questions, email Erica, okay? Because I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be working weekends and nights to fulfill this. I'm serious. That's how committed I am to this for you. That's how powerful this moment is. Okay? If you need to think about it, think about it. Do. Just keep the timing of things in mind. Okay? And if you can't make a decision until before the last one is gone, then message Erica, email Erica at concierge@thesoulmap.com. Tell her, and we'll work out a way to have yours delivered after the 19th. Just know, I'm going to be honest, folks, I'm a little scared because I'm going to be working overtime. And I want to do a really good job for you. I'm going to be paying attention to detail. I'm going to do this with tremendous care because it matters more than ever. But if your order falls after the 19th, or we just can't fit it in before the 19th, I'm going to be resting for a while before I start these again. Okay? I'm going to probably take 3-4 days to just breathe and sleep. And then I'm going to be producing and delivering them in a more spacious manner. Okay? And I will be delivering them again in the order in which the order comes. I will not be making exceptions. Okay, so please don't ask, because I can't. To be in integrity with everyone who says yes, me, I cannot do that. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask right now about this or about July in general? You're welcome, Patrice. You're very, very welcome. It is amazing. It is jaw-dropping. It is jaw-dropping. And I can't believe, literally, that even the most masterful, prominent astrologers have not caught this. And I've checked and checked and checked and checked, like just I observing one and the other without the envelope means you don't have connection to the engine that makes our leaning into it possible. I just, yeah. Yeah. So anybody have any questions? You can pop them into the chat or you can turn your microphone on and speak them out.
Hi, Lisa, this is Nancy. And
Hi.
I was just looking at that image of the Star of David that you posted there, and it occurred to me that that looks an awful lot like the Merkaba. And I'm wondering if there is a relationship between those two.
Yes. And it is behaving relative to the astrology of our times. So the Merkaba itself, the Star of David itself has profound relevance. And the way it is expressing what it is holding for us today and throughout the month of July and into August is because it is interacting with the two other formations and because of the container of the astrology of our time. Does that help?
Sort of.
Okay.
Because it feels to me like it's acting like a focused Merkaba.
It is, and because there's so much astrologically, because there's so many, so I'm going to speak astro speak for just a second. There are so many trines and sextiles. There's so much easy, harmonious flow that focus is on, I can see the dream, but it doesn't give you the engine that the envelope does.
Okay, got that.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So you're not wrong. And okay.
Good. Yeah, that explains it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the question. Anybody else have a question or an aha? Adele, you say you have a question. All
Yes.
yours. Hi.
Hi, Lisa. And I just want to acknowledge I had to leave for a call for 30 minutes and then come back. But I cannot wait for the replay because I left when you were talking about the nodal shifts. So I feel like I missed the juice. I have a question, and I just want to preface it with I do not in any means want to be insulting or any of that with my question. I have been in the past few years studying something called human design and very devoted to a related body of work called the Gene Keys, and which don't consider themselves astrology, but that whole system
has roots in astrology. Yep.
Yeah, because it maps with your natal chart, your time and place of birth, right?
Yep.
Did I miss something with the envelope? I mean, I can't wait to hear what the envelope is because I look at my chart now every day. I'm just drawn to looking at my natal chart every day, with the houses. One of the things that's unique about human design is they don't say this, but it's almost as if you have a second chart 88 days before you were born. That's the way that system.
So I'm going to pause you for a quick second and cut to the chase that I think you're getting to.
Okay.
I'm integrating human design into this.
Okay.
If that's what you wanted to know.
Well, I guess I was indirectly because I'm curious the envelope, because to me, that's what's been so significant is that we kind of have two charts.
Well, the two can be combined, and I didn't want to say this out loud because it just added complexity to all this, but I'm taking the astrological birth chart and the human design chart and putting them together for this and going forward in my work in general.
Okay. And is that related to the envelope and those
not specifically and as a standalone thing? No, it's folded into the whole of it.
Okay.
I
apologize if I created.
Yeah. The formations, the Star of David, the envelope, and the cradle or the basket are astrological and are not being spoken of specifically or in an integrated fashion as they work together over the summer by human design. That falls under the auspices and oversight of astrologers and practicing astrology.
Okay.
But as an advocate of human design, because there's tremendous value there, but that absent birth chart, the way I practice it, wasn't enough for me. And
That makes sense.
just was not enough for
Yeah,
me. When I
too
looked at both,
flat.
wove them together, oh my God. And so going forward, my work weaves the two together. And for this particular service, that weaving together is present. But it's within the astrological view added to by, not, so human design doesn't drive it, astrology drives it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very helpful. That very intriguing. If I wasn't where I am, I'm going to follow up with you because, of course, I want the service. But yeah, thank you.
Yes. Email your questions to Erica. Okay. Thank you.
Erica. That's right, Erica.
Yeah, Erica. So concierge@thesoulmap.com. I say that not because I don't want to answer you directly, but because I know I'm likely going to be swamped for a while.
Yep.
I'm doing all this on top of serving my existing clients and teaching Living the Deeper Story of 2026. So she's going to be helping me manage the conversations and all that stuff. So, okay. Kathy, you have a question. Hello.
Thank you.
Hi.
And Erica took care of it. I was just feeling the pinch of, we've paid to be part of the current, but now we're at the back of the line for this because there was no link available. But Erica, behind the scenes, jumped in and sent it to those of us who asked for it. So we're good.
Okay, good. I'm not sure what you mean by push to the back of the line.
Well, you said you're going to do these in order and they might run out. And so it's like, okay, yes, people who are not a part of the current can register right away, but the rest of you have to wait till we're done here and Erica has time to email you. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with motion maps, the format we're using is what we use with the format of the motion map season. Now, during motion map season, I do tap folks who are clients and alumni first. I do. But there was no time to do that here. If there was time, I would have. But there just isn't time. So I saw urgency, and that had us use the format in a slightly curated way because there's time constraints. That's the honest truth. Okay? I hope you understand.
Yeah, and an email could have gone out to the current today saying, "Hey, I'm going to offer this," or she could have dropped them in the chat
There
for those
wasn't
of us that are
time.
online. But
This wasn't time
I
to
hear the
justice
pressure.
to this in an email. Okay? If I could have, I would have. Thank you very much for your feedback, and please know that if there had been the bandwidth, space, time to do it, I would have. Because my desire and my calling is to serve the best way I can. And right now, that's this. Thanks, Kathy. Anybody else have a question or a wondering that you haven't already sent to Erica so we can attend to it? Okay. I have never been more in love with astrology than I am today. Never. And I've been doing this for a quarter of a century. Can you believe that? What this offers us, what our proxies are doing for us because we asked them to, is absolutely mind-blowing. And I had to tell you. I hope this is helpful. Even if this isn't calling your name, just knowing this is going on and having whatever degree of specifics I've been able to share with you here or go back to Living Live for 2026. Hold that. Carry it with you. Okay? Be careful you don't apply too much pressure to yourself. Okay? Please be careful. This is massive energy. And know I'm walking right alongside you through this. For myself, with and for you, and for humanity. We've never been here before. Oof. All right. Erica, have I missed anything before we kind of call it a day?
I don't think so.
Okay. And I haven't missed a
Oh,
question?
wait, Sylvia just put her hand up, so.
Oh, okay. Sylvia, hi.
Hi. I just want to thank you in advance. And this feels like a blessing beyond blessing, Lisa. And I
Mhm.
just know that the appreciation for you is coming from beyond the stars.
Wow. Thanks, Sylvia. Thank you. One last thing, folks. Right now, this is for us. Anyone who is on my email list, I hate that phrase, just so you know, but anyone who's on the email list, it's for you. I cannot, if you are not an email subscriber, I can't. This is just for us. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to work myself into the ground. After, we'll talk about it. Send an email. If your friend, your beloved, your clients, whatever, you think this might be for them, it will still be relevant. Well, you just won't be able to stand in July 19th energy. Email concierge@thesoulmap.com and Erica and I will get back to you. Okay. But we're going to have to do it differently. I thought about that late last night because I spoke to my friend and her partner said, can I be again? And the possibility exists that that will happen here. But for now, within this window, it's for us. Okay. And please hold it that way. Anyone who writes asking for an exception, I just want you to know, and no, can't do it. Okay. After, but not now. Okay. If clients are on the email list, they are eligible, says Kathy. Yes, they are eligible. Okay. At this price too. I'm making it this because I don't want price to be a barrier. I might be shooting myself in the foot on that, but my gut just said this. So thanks for asking, Kathy. Anybody else got a question or share? Okay. Can you just all send out a big, massive thank you to Erica? She worked so hard to help me prepare as well as we could in this short period. Like I wouldn't have been able to offer this without her.
I just want to say pulling a product, actually 2 products and the follow-up out of my butt in less than a day.
Yeah.
Please don't challenge me like this again.
I'm so sorry. And thank you. Mwah. Mwah, mwah. So appreciated, Erica. Y'all know I could not do this without her. And she safeguards things for us. She takes exceptional care of us.
I'm also the guard dog.
Bless you. And she does all things technical and wizardry that I just not built for. So yeah, thank you. Okay, y'all. Again, concierge@thesoulmap.com if you have questions or you want a link or you want whatever. Okay. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being interested the way that your heart is in being in the world what you came to be for yourself and for the rest of the world, especially now. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for you. Knowing you are in the world with your heart and your calling is an inspiration to me. And when I have dark moments or dark days, you help me come back. So, okay, y'all. I'll be hearing you. Till next live. Take good care. Bye.